Hi, everybody. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever. I just love this time of year. Um, and that's what this video is going to be all about. It's going to be about my somewhat unconventional viewpoints about Christmas. Um, and So I have my Christmas music playing in the background. I love all the traditional carols and all the holiday music. I'm not too much on the more modern stuff. I'm really into the Ben Crosby and just all the songs that everybody knows. Come all ye faithful, Joy to the world, Little Town of Bethlehem, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus coming to town, I'm dreaming of White Christmas, on and on and on and on. All the ones that we all know. So hopefully I won't get issues with recording this music in the background. I should probably test this, but I don't really feel like it to see how loud it's coming through um on the video here. I just want it to be not distracting, but yet have a nice Christmassy atmosphere in the background. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, so yeah, I just really um first of all, I guess before I get too much into it, want to tell you guys that I just have so much stuff planned for next year that I would love to do on my YouTube channel. It's going to be so exciting. Some of it I don't want to tell you about because I kind of want to surprise you, but just upcoming in the next month, hopefully in January this month, I kind of want to keep it all about family and holidays and stuff like that for the rest of the time here. But in January, I hope to do another video about Tesla because there's so many exciting things going on with that, and just investing in general, just more things I've been learning. And for anybody interested, because now is the time if you want to get into Tesla in particular. Anybody out there, you better do it. I mean, it's already way above what it was when I started just a few months ago in May. And so I just kind of thought some people might be interested in knowing more about an update on that and AI. And gosh, I want to do another some Android tutorials and want to go to Walmart and show you all about buying something, maybe going to somewhere where there's food and just doing all that independently with Ira or Be My Eyes or whatever. Um, so look for all that in the days ahead. But in the meantime, you can watch all my recent videos of when I was in Nashville and how I successfully, on my way home, I did a whole video on how I got from one gate to another independently with Ira. And so yeah, you can check all that out. But I really loved being in Nashville and seeing the glide, and can't wait until next year. Hopefully, one way or another, I'll at least get my hands on one to be able to check it out, and that will just be so incredible. And so, um, yeah, the what I wanted to talk about though regarding Christmas, and I've mentioned this concept more. I mean, on other videos all about how I'm so glad that we're in an age where things aren't so rigid as they used to be. At least that's my perception looking at it from afar. That things used to be just a lot more where there were certain behaviors expected at certain times, and you didn't really, I mean, if you deviated from those, you were just kind of seen as an outsider or um, going against the grain or whatever. Whereas now, various different things are more acceptable. And I think that really applies to this time of year as well. Um, there's just so many ways that people can choose to celebrate or not at this time of year. And there's just not as much pressure to feel obligated to do things in a certain way. And the way you decide to celebrate now may not be at all the way you celebrate um, tomorrow, next year, or the way you celebrated when years ago or whatever. It's just um, all your choice in the flexibility and what means the most to you. Um, And of course, the stage of life you're in too can really make a difference. Like if you have small kids, you'll probably do things differently than if you don't. And and it should not be a time, I can't stress this enough. I feel so strongly about this. This should not be a time where you feel all stressed and overwhelmed. If that is how you're feeling, I would strongly advise you to do whatever it takes to not feel that way. Cut out whatever you need to or whatever, because that just kind of defeats the whole purpose. Um, And fortunately, I think this trend might be changing too, where people have just found ways to not feel. I mean, just because we've always done something a certain way doesn't mean we need to keep doing it that way. And So, like, you don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. anymore if you don't want to, for example, to make Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, if you enjoy cooking and that is what you love to do, then yay. I appreciate that. I love to eat other people's good food at Christmas, all the homemade stuff, or even just, I mean, to me, I would be just happy doing anything so long as I don't have to be the one cooking for 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 people or whatever. But that's just my personal how I look at it. But Some people just are all into like having big crowds at like my interview I did last month with Katie. She just loves cooking for dozens of people or whatever, and so that's awesome. And some people just like to go to a restaurant and like at Thanksgiving or like a buffet type thing. We did that last year, and that was fun. And some people might just prefer being at home and doing something simpler or whatever. And so like ask yourself what you're really accomplishing, and if everybody around you isn't happy, if they're like just kind of I don't know, like not really appreciative of the hard work and effort, or like they're just all kind of watching football or whatever. I mean, I don't have anything against that. That's what a lot of people do, and sometimes that can be a way to be together at on Thanksgiving or whatever too, and have those family traditions, or watching the Macy's parade or whatever. But yeah, I hope you're all getting the overall point I'm trying to make. Like sending 100 Christmas cards or whatever, where all you do is sign your name, and you're just basically doing it because it's on your to-do list. Like to me, that's not really very productive. I mean, but for other, like sometimes in my life, I did enjoy like sending out a bunch of Christmas cards to people back when I had my manual typewriter or my electric typewriter. Now I don't even own one. So, but I would take all the time to like address all the envelopes, and I would put braille and like for my college friends and stuff because they were intrigued with that and everything. So that was the stage of life I was in then, but now I'm in another stage where I don't send out anything like that. So yeah, I just like sometimes I might send out a little Christmas greeting to somebody on Facebook or whatever. Or I love getting like Christmas letters from people. And all that type of thing. And my mom loved all the Christmas cards, like especially if they contained a family photo or whatever. She would hang up all the cards and hang up all the pictures that she got from people, and she just loved to see how people grew and all the kids were getting older and changing as the years would go by and stuff like that. So um yeah, that was her thing. But just doing something because it's an obligation isn't, I don't think, the main priority. The main thing about this time of year is family and getting together with friends and enjoying each other, and all the yummy goodies and the Christmas carols. And yeah, I don't bake much either, but I love enjoying other people's home cooking and whatnot. And just, yeah, whatever you're like, if you're a religious person and that's important to you at this time of year, um, that's cool too. And like I start playing Christmas music right after Thanksgiving or whenever the first snow is here. um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times even churches are even closed on Christmas Day because they realize it's a day for families to celebrate or whatever. And so it just kind of brings home the point that it's just become a tradition in our country and many others as well that um, most people have time off from work at this time of year. So it just makes sense that this should be a time when we should all take advantage of that where we can. And that's definitely what my family is doing, where we all make it a point to get together every year. And as many of us as possible. I mean, sometimes some people aren't able to get much time off or they have other things going on or whatever, but some of us always do get together, and usually it's most of us. And this year we're going to be getting together at my sister's place, so that should be interesting because her apartment isn't very big, of course. But I mean, I'm sure the four cousins will be off and about doing their own thing a lot of times, or we'll just have to see how it all works out. But I know it will be great, whatever, however it works out. And we just kind of go with the flow and um, plan things by ear, no particular agenda. Like try to, there's some things that are time sensitive or whatever that if we want to do them, we have to be kind of coordinated as far as that. So if we want to participate or whatever, but for the most part, we just try to be flexible and um, yeah, this time of year could also be a time to focus on those that are less fortunate or those that don't have friends or family nearby. Because I know that this time of year can be sad for a lot of people, and but I think um, there are things that they can do too. There's usually a lot of events planned around this time of year, and I would encourage you, even if you have to go out by yourself, a lot of times that can be a way to go meet new friends and stuff, is just to participate in some of these celebrations and stuff that are going on. And yeah, I just have fond memories of when the kids were younger and would do some of the decorating and stuff, and we're like hanging lights and putting decorations on the tree, and I miss those times. And but yeah, that's some fond memories. And some people like to go and look at all the Christmas lights and stuff, and that would even be probably more interesting for me now that I have these AI that can help describe the different colors and what the things look like and stuff. But there's just so many, like going caroling or doing sleigh rides or just telling Christmas stories. My sister and I had these books that we would listen to at every year at Christmas, with all the famous store or not famous so much, but like the Christmas Carol was one of them about this little girl. It was kind of a sad story, but we liked it just because it was our tradition to listen to it every year. Um, and just other Christmas stories and movies. A lot of times people have favorite Christmas movies that they enjoy. And that can be a time of togetherness too with your family or whatever. And some people just really love to buy gifts for people, and that's just their language of love, how they really want to buy things that somebody will really enjoy and have they really think about the individual they're buying for and what will that person really like or whatever. And I really think that's cool when I can tell that somebody has really put like time and effort and thought into it. But if somebody's just going out like at the last minute and they're all stressed because they haven't bought gifts for everybody on their Christmas lists, that's not really the point either. Some might buy expensive gifts, but then treat the person badly the rest of the year or whatever. And yeah, so that kind of like defeats the purpose there too. And like me, I don't really like shopping very much for me or for other people. I mean, sometimes I'll just give somebody something randomly if see something in the middle of the year or anytime, if I know they'll like it or whatever. But nowadays it's just so, I mean, Christmas decorations start coming out in stores before Halloween nowadays, and it's just a little ridiculous. I think just the commercialization of everything, and that shouldn't be the point where like all kids are thinking about is just what they're gonna get for their presents, and that it's just like more emphasizes greed or whatever, or instead of just like being together and having fun and playing games and stuff like that with each other, which is what we usually do on our family gatherings. The gift giving is not at all that's probably the least important part of it, but I mean, also you shouldn't feel obligated to spend time with your family if you don't have a lot in common with them, or there's just other issues or whatever. But it's great when you can get over any things and just celebrate being together and the things that you do have in common with each other. um and So yeah, like sometimes the people will return most of their gifts the next day, like on the 26th or whatever. um, and So yeah, you just think about like how much time and effort and expense and all that should I really go to, and why? Like, yeah. Um, but I mean, if the person really loves doing it, then they should. That's wonderful. But you also shouldn't feel like offended if other people um celebrate differently and don't focus on the gifts as much or whatever. So I guess my point is we should just all be really try to be really tolerant of how other people choose to celebrate this time of year. Um And yeah, like for us, it wouldn't really be practical for our family to get gifts for each other. I mean, I guess you could have them sent, but then that just adds the shipping costs and stuff too. But like people we're all scattered hither and yon, and so we couldn't take much back with us. Like in your suitcase or whatever, and so you have to be careful about that, like how much could you really take on the plane or whatever mode of transportation you're using. And and there's so many of us, like as people have kids, and then there's boyfriends or spouses or whatever, girlfriends, etc. um and so like yeah, you have to just kind of draw the line somewhere. So what our family has done the last several years is just that we do a simple gift exchange. And Like in the past, we've done it where we each just choose one name for somebody so we can get something that we know that person will really enjoy. But for the last couple of years, we've just my daughter's been elected to just get most of the gifts, for just like general gifts that anybody would like, and then we just play this game. Like we just have elected her to be the one to choose. But I'm sure we won't always do it that way. But that's what's worked for us lately, where we've just played this game where we draw a name or draw numbers, and then like whoever has number one, they get to go first and go to the pile of gifts. And it's just kind of fun to explore the pile, like shake the boxes and feel how big they are, and they pick out a gift then that they want. And then the next person who drew number two, they go next, and then they have the option of either trading with number one or keeping their gift. And then the number one person we have them, they get to go at the end too, since they didn't have that option to trade with other people or whatever. And then so there's all kinds of games like that that you can play to make it fun and interesting. And I like it too that everybody isn't just tearing into their gifts all at once and then nobody really knows what anybody else got or whatever. um, but this way we're all just kind of sitting there around the circle or in the room, and we get to see what everybody else got, and it's just kind of fun to try to trade with people and all that kind of. um, I might record a bit of that if I think of it, and if nobody minds, on my channel when we all get together next year, because it's pretty cool. And So yeah, that's just what we choose to do. And we're always playing games and stuff all week or however long we're spending together. This time we'll hopefully also get to see a concert that my niece will be in the choir and stuff. So yeah, that will be very cool. um and so yeah, it's all about just being together, because we don't get together only once or twice a year, and that's what our main focus is. um and So yeah, I just remember like one time when my nephew was only about 9 or 10 years old, and he was in Boy Scouts. Actually, he did this for a couple years, where he got gifts for all of us, and we didn't even ask him to or anything. But he had sold a lot of popcorn with his Boy Scouts and spent like most of the money that he got on all of us, because he just thought it was so fun to get. And I was amazed at how the great job he did at even at that young age, getting gifts that he knew that person would enjoy. And I'll just never forget that, how he um just at that age when so many kids are all about me, 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 and what do I want for Christmas? And he was all about, he just thought it was so fun. He and his dad went and shopping and stuff, and he picked out all these gifts for us and everything. And so that's just so awesome, that he really knew. He yeah. I had just have so many great Christmas memories that I hope to tell you in the, if not this year. I want to tell you at least one this year, probably on my next video. But there's so many I could share with you about my own childhood and things I remember about Christmas. Um, and yeah, just as an adult too, there's so many special things. And so anyway, with that, I think I'll draw this to a close for now, and I hope you got something out of this and that I didn't ramble on too much. But just however you celebrate or whatever you do at this time of year, just make sure you enjoy it and get the most out of it. And I hope you all will have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But you'll see me again before the new year, I'm sure. But yeah. Just enjoy this season, and thanks very much. Bye.